We're here with Monica Beckwith, who is a Java champion working in Microsoft. And we're so excited to ask her a few questions around the champion program and also her role at Microsoft. Monica, if we can just say, tell us a little bit about yourself and your career so far.
Hi everyone, I'm Monica. I am a Java champion and I work like behind the scenes of your virtual machine. So basically I work with Hotspot primarily, which is the OpenJDK virtual machine for Java. And I've been doing stuff all the way from JIT compilation, optimization of generated code, and garbage collection, performance improvements, especially with G1GC. That's my baby. And now I'm just looking at pretty much the entire Hotspot VM and improvements in the OpenJDK that can benefit Azure as well as any learning, any first-party, third-party customers and their applications, their workloads, their use case patterns that can benefit the OpenJDK ecosystem. So to make it a win-win for everybody. Yeah.
What you told me in the beginning of the interview before we were getting to know each other, you said you're not a Java developer, and I was a little bit taken back because then I was like, what am I interviewing you on? And it was a fascinating take because I assume immediately that all the Java champions have to be like, Java developers, like system out, print, new line, and everything like that. So tell me how did you get into the Java champion program?
So I started my the Java career, but like I mentioned, I was actually behind the scenes. So I started looking at OpenJDK, and back then it was SunJDK, like in 2002-ish, or maybe 3, I'm not sure. It was basically trying to understand how to optimize generated code. Back then, x86-64 was a new platform, and it's a 64-bit platform. So what I was trying to do is optimize the generated code and make sure that we're using the right instruction, the pipeline up. So basically, from the architecture, when you look up and you're running Java code, back then we just used some industry standard benchmarks, and we're going to make sure that the underlying architecture can run, and maybe like vectorization is an improvement we could do. We could do some simple code, redundant code, get rid of those redundant codes and code paths and stuff like that, and trying to speak the language of the underlying hardware architecture. So optimizations for cache, prefetching, all these things. And that's how I got to know the Java virtual machine, kind of from knowing what the architecture can offer and how we can, kind of benefit the Java programmer running on at that time it was the x86-64 architecture. So that's how it started. I fell in love with the adaptive optimization that the JIT compiler offers. The de-optimization hooks in there were amazing learning opportunity for me. So I immediately moved away from the static compilation world to this dynamic compiler, and there was no looking back. And every time I had a new performance problems, I just wanted to learn more and more, and I just got immersed into the JVM. Luckily for me, I worked through various companies where I could learn more about the hardware architecture. So then we kind of hardware and software working together for the benefit of the Java developer or Java user out there. And so, yeah, I am always in awe of each program that I see out there. I never judge. People always ask me, like, what's the best way to write a GC optimized code or whatever. I say, I will talk from the allocations perspective. Like, if you understand your allocations, if you understand the rate, the size of your objects. That's what it matters, right? In the end, you shouldn't worry about certain redundancies. It's my job. So there are so many optimizations that have gone into the JVM.
That's incredibly, like, I never thought of it that way, that you're there taking care of it. You're mommying us Java developers and keeping us, safe. That's a fascinating take on that. I wanted to ask you, I could spend so much time just getting some real nice tidbits around optimization. But tell me a little bit, what's in store for Microsoft's role with the OpenJDK and the Java community?
So I think I will talk from my perspective because, again, I come from the VM part of it and from the performance part of it. So I think, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are so many first-party and third-party apps that are running on Azure, right? And one of the things I want to get is not work with just these standard. I love industry benchmarks. I work on improving them. I work on providing, real world use cases. But at the same time, I also want to make sure that we're literally looking at data. I mean, of course, it's PII sanitized data, but I want to work with this data and get these data patterns and find a common case, right? How does in-memory database, for example, how are the patterns for that? How does caching affect different GC algorithms, right? So what do you suggest? Why should we talk about G1 GC which is the default GC, for example? Why should we say that, hey, keep your pause times to this? And that's, if you think about prior to this job at Microsoft, that was kind of my goal in every job that I did. There's got to be these defaults that will work for many people, and that's why they're called out of the box, because literally you plug in your JVM, the GC that you get, the pause time goals that you get, or whatever it should work for average or even above average users out there. And I always want to learn and improve the JVM, so to speak.
That's great, because, as you were saying that, I remember, I think it was Satya said that Azure is the computer of the internet. It's a computer of the internet, and you've got access now to help so many people and to really see those trends and themes, and to help and spot those trends, and then to adjust and be the parent, the mom to us Java developers. And it's a great privilege to be able to work with engineers such as yourself, and to know that you're spending so much of passion and excitement behind the scenes to be able to do that. Any further, before we wrap up, any further kind of news and exciting events that you want to discuss on the JVM front?
Yeah, first of all, it's a big privilege for me. This opportunity is something that people dream of, and I'm here and I'm living it. So I really, really appreciate the privilege. The one thing that I want to talk about, and this is where I see the future, is Java will always, like the JVM, is always going to evolve into the next best thing out there. There's this vector API that just is coming out as an incubator in JDK 16, and I see so much potential with respect to that. We recently did a port to bringing Java to Windows on ARM on Surface Pro X, for example. Today you can download the bits and from our GitHub, Microsoft's GitHub repo, and I will send the link out so that you can plug it into the channel here. But the point is that we want to make sure that Java is available to every developer out there, and that's the Microsoft goal as well. Every developer, every platform. So we want to keep up.
Empowering every person in every organization to achieve more. Monica, thank you so much for your time today. I really found it fascinating, and it's great to know that someone's taking care of me when I make a mistake. Thanks, Monica.
Cool. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.